Okay. Can you see my, please confirm you can see my screen. You can just mute and say yes, I can see.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. Okay, so the goal of this is to talk about how we can understand the real estate market from the women perspective. I'll try my best to use simple words and to use illustrations and use things that we can relate to explain some things so that it can be very, very easy for us to understand what I am talking about. Okay, so like I said initially, we are site map. So we use map and satellite images to help the real estate companies divide big acres of land into smaller plots, and we create communities from there. Like we're doing communities for women. We want to start having estates where only women own land. And of course, making land ownership affordable and removing scams and making sure that everything is transparent. There will be no duplicate of allocation. There will be no oversubscription. Everything is going to be as it is. So that is who we are. You can always check us out at sitemap.com. So over the course of the years, we launched 2023. During that time, we've been able to help the real estate companies sell over 1,000 plus lands. And we have also partnered with the state government and government agencies and corporations. We're already working with Anambra State government, Anambra State Housing Development Corporation, and we're also working with Lagos State government at the moment also, plus the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. So our goal is to be able to build a platform that can remove scam, remove duplicate of allocation, and make land buying transparent for different communities, starting from women. Okay, so to enter into real estate, because I'm assuming that everybody here doesn't have all the knowledge it takes to be in the real estate field or understand what it means to be in the real estate. So I usually believe that for you to be in the real estate, you need to create a different mindset. Investing in real estate is totally a different thing, unlike buying television or buying any other thing. You need to build a different mindset. Although there are some things that are related, but the mindset is something that you need to be able to put together and be sure that you want to start investing in the real estate. So, and this mindset thing is different. You understand? What I have in mind might not be what you have in mind. But when you create a mindset that can help you to go, it makes the work easier for you. Let me use an example of a punishment and exercise. Both of them require stress on the body, but the mindset is what is making one feel painful and the other one feel like there is a gain. But it's the same stress on the body. For example, let me use an example now. Maybe when we were in secondary school, it could be given a punishment to walk. There is a way they do it when we're in secondary school because I schooled in a rural area. So we can be given a punishment to walk a 1,000 kilometer, not 1,000, maybe let's say 2 to 3 kilometer distance. Because it's punishment, you'll be feeling tired. You'll feel so tired. But if you're doing that as an exercise, walking the same 3 kilometers, yes, you will feel tired, but you are happy. You'll be feeling like you are reducing. If you do it consistently, you will see that your body will start changing. Maybe you have some fat on your body, you see that you start losing those fats. That's because you positioned your mindset because you want to do this to reduce fat. But if you are doing that same thing as punishment, you could be getting pains after you get it done, and you won't be happy that you did it. So it's a different mindset, but almost the same activity. So when you want to invest in the real estate, you need to build a kind of mindset of what you want to achieve in that real estate, in that investment. It could be a savings. It could be a cash flow. So it depends on what you actually want to achieve. If you are going for savings, you know that you're going to start investing in maybe land banking and all that to be able to buy a land that you can keep maybe after a longer period, then you can resell. That's actually what land banking is. Or you want to buy and start building on it so that you can start getting it down. You're building a hotel, you're building a rental residential house, or you're building a house that you want to live. So all these things are different mindsets. So you wouldn't want to buy a land that you want to build and you go into a place that is actually a land banking area to buy that kind of land. It won't work. You won't want to buy a land that you want to save to make more money, and you will be going for lands that are already where maybe on the urban area. It will not also work because that land will not appreciate the way you think it will. For example, if I go to Lekki now to buy a land, a plot of land in Lekki now should be close to 200 million. If I pay 200 million to buy that land may not become 300 million in the next 3, 4, 5 years. The growth will be taken gradually. It could become 210, 25. You understand? But if I go maybe in a rural area closer to closer to urban area, maybe the strategic investment around there, or strategic industrialization around there. In just 1 year, 2 years, that land is already doing 200%, 300%. So the mindset are different. So that's what I mean by being able to develop a different mindset and know exactly what you want to invest in the real estate for. Okay, so we talk about what real estate is all about. It's more like it's consisting of land and what you have on top of that land, whether it's natural or man-made. So what we mean by natural here is maybe the hills, the rocks. So someone can actually buy those things and also make money from there. So it could be a natural thing on top of that land or a building that is built by any of us or any human on top of. So all these things are what we just call real estate. So real estate is all about the land. So there must be land before anything on top of it. So there must be land. And that is why we are concentrating more on the land. And that is why we want you to understand what it means by owning land before you start even maybe talking about building on it for cash flow. But first, owning it first, then so you can now think of what you can use it to do. Any question? Okay, great. So let's talk about why many women don't own land. So we understood that majority of women don't have land. Some are scared to buy because of the way the Nigerian land system is. A lot of fraud. from our data, over 500,000 land scams happen in Lagos and Ogun State every year. And 65% of these land scams are actually women are victims. Women are because we understand that most women don't really understand what it takes to buy land. And majority of women also, because they are looking for cheap lands. From the registrations happening for these trade fair, I notice a lot of women adding 100,000 naira as their budget. I see 200,000. It's not like there is no land like that. That can be a land. But these are the things that, imagine if I'm saying, okay, we have a land that you can get for 200,000. I might have a rush of a lot of people who will come and say, oh, give us the land and all that. But those kind of lands are what can cause scam. Because a land that is 200,000 should be like maybe 3 hours to the city or something like that. It could be very far from maybe development coming that area might not even it might take 10 years, 20 years and all that, unless you are lucky enough. Okay. So those kind of things are the things that can cause women to lose their money. When you are looking at a smaller amount of money to invest, and people can ride on it and fraud. So one of the things that we see that can cause this thing is one, cultural barriers. Traditions, majority of traditions in Nigeria and Africa do not allow women to own land. They deny women to own land. I could remember one of my auntie, our community bought her land for sale, and she was interested in buying, but she was told they cannot give it to women. It's only men that they can give the land. In as much as she was married into our family, but she was not given access to get those land. She has to use my dad's name to buy that land. So most of these cultural barriers are making women to less concerned about owning land. Again, is even the Nigerian legal police, like the land use act. The land use act, yes, in as much as it was aiming for equal rights in terms of owning land. But if you read it correctly, if you read it properly, you see that it actually favored only legally married women. Maybe when she's sharing things with their spouse, she can inherit land or something. But the single ones, nothing for you. Nobody is talking about how you can be able to own that. And these are not really good. And it's not encouraging women to be able to become a landlady of their own. Then we look at the gender disparities. So in that aspect, you see that men are actually dominating where there is anything about land buying or selling. Even currently now, the real estate companies that are selling, watch all their marketing strategies, their marketing sales. It's all targeting men. That is why we have more of women selling the real estate than more of men. Because they believe it's a man thing. Man should be the one buying. So women are the ones selling. Majority of the women are selling, while majority of the men are buying. There's one post I saw, the lady was carrying, she painted something on the cardboard and wrote, "Na man wey buy land go marry." So meaning that they don't even care about the women to buy. So all the marketing is strategizing on selling to the men, and nobody cares about the women. And that is why we are doing this. We want to care for the women. We want to be able to give that women opportunity to own something that they can really touch and say, this is my own. You understand? Whether you are married or you are single, you be able to have something for your future and legacy. Okay, so why should a woman own land? Owning land is going to help you to put in like financial security. The more you own land, the more you are saving, especially if those lands are for land bank. The more you buy, the more you are saving. Those money is going to, those funds are going to come back in hand when you need them. I know of someone that every year he makes it possible. He makes it a point of duty. I'm using he now because he's also a man that actually I'm trying to use to bring an analogy to us. So he makes sure he buys at least 3 plots of land every year. So what it means is in the next 10 years, we'll have owned 30 plots. And that 30 plots, if he starts selling it in that 10 years, some must have appreciated maybe even 500%, that's 5x. Some would have done 10x. And selling one could solve all the problem he wants to solve at that particular time. You understand? So then it could also be for empowerment. You can empower yourself, become an independent person. You can beat your chest to say, I'm one of the people that own piece of Nigeria and all that. So inflation protection. I have seen a lot of analogies on the social media where people say buying properties or buying land in Nigeria is risky because if we're talking about is helping is used to hedge inflections and all that it doesn't work. Why are they saying that? Because they're actually pegging Nigerian naira with dollar, looking at what dollar was last year and what dollar value is now to naira. But I don't totally agree with them because naira is a currency we use in Nigeria here. It doesn't even match. You shouldn't even matter how it's performing with other currencies outside Nigeria. Let's use China, South Korea, Japan as an example. These countries are power hub for industrialization and technology, especially China. But China intentionally devalued their currency against dollar, so that it can be cheaper for exchange, so that people can easily come in to buy things from them. They didn't care about dollar. They made their currency to be so cheap against dollar, so that people can come in and buy things. Where China is now today, Nigeria cannot even crawl to that place. But development is happening there on a daily basis. The same thing with South Korea, the same thing with Japan. And currently now in Nigeria, you can actually exchange Chinese currency to naira directly. So you don't even need dollar. That way you can even buy things cheaper in China and bring it back home and sell, even make maybe to 200 to 300% profit. So that's why I don't totally agree with it doesn't stop inflation. It actually does, because if you save money in lands, and that land increases in value. Maybe you bought this land at 1 million naira this year. In the next 3 years, it has become 4 million, 5 million. You are still going to buy. You are still going to have more money, because the way things are, the prices of things in Nigeria is still far way cheaper than the prices of things outside the country. For example, the food that we eat here is far cheaper than the food if you go to US and eat. Whether you're eating US local food or you're eating Nigerian food there, it's going to be very expensive than the food that you are eating here. In fact, the food that we eat here as luxury food could be the price of the food you eat there as local food. So it's not the same at all. So anybody's telling you that land doesn't protect inflation, it's just trying to make you just massaging your ego so that you will not invest in land. Okay, so investment potential. Maybe you here now you're talking about cash flow. You need something, you want to buy land and build something. During this course of our trade, a lady reached out to me. She wants to buy 4 acres of land in River State because she want to build a resort in River State. So buying such is an investment, and building that resort on top of that land will start generating a rental income. People will start coming to those resorts, and she's going to make money from there. Or you can build for maybe residential buildings for renting and all that. So it depends on how you want to do your investment, whether industrialization or residential. So then owning land as a woman is going to help you build generational wealth for both your friends, for both your families. Either you are married or you are still single, it's going to help you build generational wealth because as you are buying and acquiring land, you are saving your family you are bringing your family out of poverty. Because if anything happens to you today, they could be able to see what they can sell to continue living. And selling it then could be a very huge amount of money for them to continue their life. And you have done something great for them. Any question? Okay, great. So since we have understood why we should buy land, so let's also look at understanding the land titles and documentations involved in giving us out this land. I didn't cover, there are hundreds of different okay, I won't call it titles, I'll call it land use anyway. But these are the major ones that point out, people can be able to see. I didn't put arrow of O, but I'm also going to talk about it here. So the first title is certificate of occupancy. This one is the highest, the one the state governments are actually issuing. We understand that in Nigeria, all lands by law is owned by that state government. Any state you are in, according to the Land Use Act, all lands is owned by state government. Either Anambra State, Lagos State, Abuja, even all the ones we are buying and building our house, they are all belong to. So government can come for it at any time. So, but what government now do is to rent it for you, is to rent it to you for 99 years. And that is what certificate of occupancy does. So when you get C of O from government, so it means that government has rented that land for you for 99 years. So, so it's very important when they say a property has C of O, it's also very important to actually know the year remaining on that C of O. So that you can be able to know if the rental period is expiring very soon. For example, if there is a C of O issued in 1960, that means that CFO has already lived, I think, is it 66 years now? So it's not even up to 40 years again remaining. So buying such land, yes, in as much as 40 years is still a very high year, but I'm just giving instance so that you can understand where I'm coming from. You see that that land will belong to you for like 40 years. So even your generations might not be able to continue. They have to reapply again after that 40 years. So it's always important to be able to check the dates remaining on that CFO. Okay, so we also have deed of assignment. This deed of assignment is transfer of, let's say, land, someone owns this land and he wants to transfer the ownership to you. So there must be a deed of assignment. So any land that you are buying and there is no deed of assignment, know that that land has not been assigned to you. Whether it has CFO or it doesn't have, there must be a deed of assignment attached to that transaction. Okay, so this deed of assignment can be called also deed of conveyance. Port Harcourt is using deed of conveyance. Lagos is using deed of assignment. So different states with different names. So, but it's almost the same thing. Then we have survey plan. Survey plan is what you can use to actually determine the boundary of that land. So when you get a survey plan, it's also important that you go and register it with government so that when someone comes to chart that land, they could see that it's your name, that land is assigned to you. So any land that you are buying, some doesn't come with a registered surveyor. You need to go and do it yourself. Some, they have already registered that survey for you. So you don't necessarily need to register it again. Then governance concept is more like the government giving you approval. There is no CFO, but the government is giving you a consent that, okay, this land, you are free to use this land to build whatever you want to build. They are giving you go ahead to do that. So this works very well in Lagos. It's usually in Lagos that I hear that, but it's applicable to every state in Nigeria. Then out of O is more like C of O too, but that one is right of occupancy and not certificate of occupancy. That one is right of occupancy. So it's mostly being issued in Abuja. Right of occupancy is like government also giving you a temporal permit to use the land while you can now go and get CFO. So they can give you the rights to use the land for what you want to do while you can do CFO. So they are all good titles that when someone presents it to you, you can go and verify them and make sure that it's attached or is in line with that particular land that you want to buy. So apart from understanding the title, you need to also understand the land use of that land. Very, very important, not just the title, but land use of that land. This is one of the challenges that is happening in Epe, Lagos, where some of the lands in Epe is meant for forestry, some agriculture, some military land, some cemetery, some government allocations for industrialization, like as we have the Dangote refinery, the airport, seaport. Those areas, government has already taken those places as places where they're going to invest something in the future. You can also see some as maybe pipeline or coastal road. So those things, or maybe they want to build a different thing there. So you can see all those things when you go to the land registry to do verification, or when you go and do what we are calling land charting. You can go and chart the land to know the land use. Very, very important. So with that land use, you could be able to know exactly what that particular land is actually meant for. If not, you might be able to buy, imagine buying land that is meant for military. They'll come for you. You didn't even own land. You don't have any land because they'll come for their land and they're going to chase you away. Or you're buying land where the government has already stated that it's going to be cemetery. Definitely, it has to be cemetery in the future. They have not built that cemetery there yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to be built, and they will come for it. That's why we see a lot of these demolitions happening here and there because people went and built houses where the land use is meant for another thing. So it's very important that you understand the land use of a particular location so that you don't enter into a government problem. Although, yes, most of those land use, you could also go and apply for what we are calling regularization. You understand? So maybe a land is meant for agriculture purposes, but the city is developing, or a land is meant for forestation, but the city is growing. Urbanization is entering and coming towards that area. You could apply for government to consider converting that land to residential. They can also look, they can check around, make their decisions, and can now regularize that land for you and make it residential for you. So commercial areas can be converted to residential. Residential areas can be converted to commercial areas. So, but everything is under government, like I said. They can, and in Nigeria is where government keep changing things. You understand? Maybe government sold here for market. They sold here, sold a market, like what happened in Kano. Government sold where the land use supposed to be a market. The past government sold it and converted it as residential. A new government came and said, no, the master plan is market, and started demolishing the whole houses. So always go for what is on the master plan. Reinventing the wheel in Nigeria is very risky. People are doing it, but it's very, very risky because as we are changing governments, they are changing a lot of things, and they can come back. They can go back or go front. But the first master plan is usually what everybody like focuses on, unless there is an update directly from the government. If there's no update directly from the government, then there is an issue. That's why if you chart your land today, make sure you go and register it because in the next 3 months could change. Anything can happen. So it's very, very important that you check these two things are very important. The land use and the type of document that is coming with. Okay, so how do you now determine the best location to buy land? So buying land requires speculations. What I mean by speculation is, let's use Epe as an example. Epe started growing rapidly because Dangote refinery started coming up. I mean, the moment there was a news that Dangote wants to build a refinery in Epe, Epe started the hottest area to go. So what you need to be checking in any land you want to buy is if there is industrializations or if there is a speculation of there will be one industrialization happening in that particular location. If there is none, that means that land might not grow as fast as you're thinking. You understand? It might not grow as fast as you want. So you need to be able to, that's why the real estate companies tell you the beautiful neighborhoods about their estate project so that you will know that there is room for increase in value very fast in your land that you're going to buy from them. So always make sure that any project that you want to buy or any land that you want to buy, especially for land banking, land savings, make sure that there is an industrialization happening around there. Just like in Port Harcourt also, the moment the former CEO of Access Bank that is late right now, the moment he announced the Wige University in Ishopo becomes a hot place to buy land. Real estate companies start moving that direction immediately. Just like the Odaba that we have right now, Tony Lumenu announced setting up school there, his foundation school, and over five oil companies, Sapen, Nest Oil, started building their station there. That place becomes a hot area for investment. Everybody, both the real estate companies, start moving there because they believe once these industrializations comes live, that place will become a new city of its own because they are going to employ people. People are going to live close to where they work, make things easy for them, and they need shelter. That is why people are doing those angles to go and buy land. So when you hear, make sure you get those speculations. If not, you might be saying, it's bush, what can I buy in bush and all that. But there is a growth coming up, those industrializations and commercial real estate coming up with those axes. So always make sure you know what is happening in that area before you invest. Okay, so let's talk about what we are doing at Sidemap Women. So our goal is to make sure that we can be able to help women own land and become successful landladies. You can call yourself land owner. With what we are planning, we are making it simple. With Sidemap applications, we are going to share different links of those estate projects to make it easier. So you can be able to choose your plot by yourself and reserve it. We understand there will be a lot of crowd in this. We already have over 6,000 registrations as I'm talking to you that wants to buy this land. Majority of them are not on WhatsApp, but on our registration page, we have like 6,000 people. So now, and we also have other partners, other women group partner that is also going to come on board. So, and we don't want to have, how do I call it? We don't want to have duplicate allocations. We don't want to have over subscriptions in what is happening in most of the real estate industries, where you see a lot of them being called out on the social media and all that. So that's why we are using a technology to do this. Technology doesn't have anything to do with the land, but it has something to do with the buying process. So that any land, any plot, if you choose plot 20, that plot 20 becomes yours on the ground. If you choose plot 30, that plot 30 becomes yours on the ground. That is what we mean by simple and transparency. So everything is, the process is automated. So you choose your plot, it generates an offer letter for you. That offer letter you have 48 hours to make the payment. If you don't pay within 48 hours, the plot will be marked available again for another person to choose it. So it's important to actually quickly choose and quickly reserve your own. And once you reserve, it becomes your own. Once you pay down payment on it, it becomes your own. Then you cannot pay gradually and finish. Once you pay outright on it, it becomes your own. And you can have an app where we can be coming to our website to log in. There's something we call My Sidemap. with my side map, you can log in and be seeing where your land is on a satellite image. You'll be seeing your land and you can be seeing the environment. And of course, for people who are not available where their land location is, we can offer document delivery. And we are promising, for example, the Port Harcourt estate, Abuja, and the Lagos estate. We are promising 7 days after payment, the document will be ready. There will be no delay in issuing this document. We'll get it done 7 days. Like Port Harcourt, registering the survey takes about 5 days. We'll get it sorted out. So in 7 days, the document should be ready. And if you're not in Port Harcourt, we can help ship those documents to wherever you are staying. Then we can, if you don't have full payment, no problem. We have set up a payment plan up to 6 months that you can be able to use in paying gradually to become a landowner. Why we are using 6 months and not 1 year is because these lands, if we put it more than 6 months, then it's not going to be favorable on our own side anymore because we already discounted at 50%. And what the most real estate companies that are taking installment plan does is they don't give you any plots at all. So you are just saving money with them, no plots. Until you finish that saving, they can now say, okay, we have in this estate, take. But we want you to be part of a women estate and not just buying land. We want you to be part of a women estate because we are looking at in the future, let's say 5 years, 10 years, people can be passing through those estates and they can say, oh, this is women estate. It's only women that own this land when initially when they started and all this. To become a good history that you are part of. So, and that is why we are doing it this way, to make it easier, both for us and also for you. It's supposed to be a pure outright thing, but we want to help. And that is why we are bringing out an installment plan. And if you watch, most of the real estate companies that are also giving those 1 year, 2 years payment plan, most times after making that payment, no land allocation. They might stay another 2 years waiting for land allocation because they don't have. They have given the estate report from the people that actually paid outright. They have given it out to all those people, and you do not have. And you start running around looking for who is, and that is where the scams are. That's where the scam starts. And we don't want to do that. We want, if you are choosing a plot, give you that plot that you selected, and you have 6 months to pay. Although we understand that there will be some defaults, maybe within the payment period of time. Of course, as you're selecting the plot, an offer letter, you are generating an offer letter that is telling you all the do's and don'ts so that you can also agree, sign, and we also have that document also. So it's very important to understand that aspect because if you default too, the land can also be taken from you and give to another lady, another woman who's interested. Let's say you're supposed to pay this month, you didn't pay next month, then you assume that you might not be able to pay the next upper month because it's actually accumulating. So it becomes an issue. But you can pay today, next month you decide to finish payment. Fantastic. The system can take it and all that, so you don't have any issue. So let's look at some of the estate that we have. We have Port Harcourt estate, which is in Otaba, Echie. It comes with a 465 square meters, which is what we are calling 500 by 50 plot of land, a very big plot. And the outright price is 800,000 and it's about 100 plots. The payment plan is 3 months. And from the neighborhood, you could see there is a Nestle Oil Station there. There is a Shell station. The Lumenu University site is also around that area. Sapiem sites are also there. Then, as these places are coming in, a lot of real estate companies are also buying out and selling to other people around that area. So it's actually a very area to invest money and save money because that area will start becoming something that you'll be shocked on what is going to happen around there. So it comes with a deed of assignment and a registered survey. So the survey is going to register. So you don't have any issue at all. Register it for you. So I didn't put the name of the estate because it's part of the things I want us to do on the group. So there's something we're going, there's a day, I'm still working with my team to bring out that day next week, where we are going to naming ceremony of these estates. Some already has them from the real estate company partner that we're partnering with to get this plot for you. Some already have names, but we're looking at changing the name that was given to it and allow women on this group to actually generate the name by themselves. I want everyone to be part of it, where we can bring out Port Harcourt Estate and we give it the name that we want, as we want. And we are going to use that name for the people buying that estate. So the same thing with Abuja Estate too. Abuja Estate is located in Ugbe. It's very close to Dunamis. That Dunamis big of church. It's very close to there. There's also a federal housing around that area. Then there is police estate around there, which is a very popular estate in Abuja. So it already comes, this is a mistake, I'm going to correct this. It has arrow of O. It has already been issued arrow of O from the municipal, and there is a survey there. And even the building has also been approved. So there is a building plan for that particular estate, and it has been approved. So buying that estate requires that it's a buy and build. So it requires that you need to also build on that estate. So imagine where the houses built in one estate, they are owned by women. The excitement will not be there. It's going to be awesome. So this estate is about 37 plots of land. It's a small community for women. And we have the big plot there and the small plot. The small plot is 250 square meters. Big plot is 500 square meters. It's even slightly bigger than the one in Port Harcourt. So the big one is 4.5 million. The actual price for the small one is 2.5 million, and it's about 16 plots. And the payment plan is actually 6 months and not 3 months. The person that did this design for me made some mistakes, so I'm going to correct these things. So it's going to be 6 months and not 3 months. So this one you spread it to 6 months, and you can be able to pay within 6 months. So we also have the Ibadan estate. The Ibadan estate is actually a very big estate. It's about 1,000 acres of land. So it's it's a new city that is being built in partnership with Oyo State government. This smart city is also a PLC company. They are a very big company in real estate. So they are partnering with the government to build a new city in Oyo State. So inside that new city, we are carving out a site for women, and it's going to be about 100 plots. So inside that 100 plots, you can get your this 2.5 million to get a plot there and pay within 3 months. So because the partnership with the government, there is already a CFO on that estate. There is a deed of assignment and a survey plan coming from that estate. But it's a very nice estate and smart city. Like everything is going to, every technology there in that estate is going to be smart home, smart houses and all that. So I was able to get out 100 plots from that place for women so that we can have a cluster where it's only women that own land in that cluster, in that estate. So it's really, really exciting that we were able to get access to this. Then in Lagos State, we have already named the Lagos State estate, which is Dunu Residence, Women Estate. So this has already been named, and it's along Eluju, Iketu, Ebe, Lagos. So this estate is sitting on the plot is residential, so there's no issue because we've been able to chat and find out that it's actually in a residential area. So there's no cause for alarm in terms of the plan of a. So 500 square meter also is going for 4 million naira. And we have a total plot there of 55 plots, which is 6 months. So the payment plan is 6 months. So, and the place is very, very close to a lot of this. It's very close to Simi Lagos, the Lagos food hub and logistics system. So we know, of course, we understand how Lagos is. And that's actually exactly what it is. It has already been fixed anyway. It has been fenced, so there's no cause for alarm. It has been fenced, and we don't have any issues on that. Okay, so what we did also is when you purchase a plot on SiteMap, especially when you do an outright, the system automatically immediately generates certificate of allocation for you, which is signed by the real estate company that we are working with. So everything is going to come with the real estate company's name, your bank account, everything, you understand? So it's going to be generated. Usually they have to give you that certificate on paper when you pay. If you have bought land before with a real estate company, everything is on paper and all that. But now it has been digitized. So at the moment you are paying, you're getting it instantly, immediately. So you don't even have anything to fear or anything. And if you're also paying installment, the moment you pay the last payment, you get it instantly. Everything is automated. You don't even have to worry yourself. So on the day of sales, we are going to share a link of those estates in this format. So we share it on the group, we share it on the emails for people that are not in the group, and they will share it to our real estate companies. So we might share this earlier before that time to help people who might not be very fast enough to be able to reserve their plot. So we might share it earlier enough so that people who are not faster can be able to reserve their plot on time. So when we share this link, you open it with your mobile phone, you can access that estate with your mobile phone. You see the green color, you see the plots. So you can see their colors also. So the colors are representing the status of those plots. If someone has selected a plot and make payment outright immediately, the plot is going to change to red. So you cannot select that plot anymore. The only plot you can select is the one that is green. Green still means that plot is available. So we're going to show you the design of the estate layout, everything, so you can be able to see the plots, their location, and choose your desired plot. So you need to also be fast, because if two people select one plot and start making a buying process, the faster person that reserves that plot is the only person that is going to get it. The second person will be told that plot has been selected by another person, and you need to start afresh. So you have to be as fast as possible to see that you close out and get your plot. So the yellow one is someone has already paid a down payment on it and want to now continue making other payment. So the blue one is someone wants to make payment on that plot. So we, from our own back office, we will be calling the people that their own is on blue to see if they are actually serious on paying. If they are not, we are going to cancel that transaction so that another person can also choose it immediately, because we don't want to in as much as the system is going to keep that plot for the person for 48 hours, we want to also make sure that the ones that are not serious can easily cancel it based on how you respond to us or what you ask us or what you tell us. Tell us, oh, you're just trying to check how it is. We're going to cancel it immediately so that someone that is serious can easily choose that plot. We're not going to allow some of the plots to be more than to be up to that 48 hours that the system is going to count. So all you just need to do is click on the available plots. And once you click, it's going to pop up for you to fill your name, your detail. Just fill your name, your phone number, your email, your address, and the plot will be reserved for you. The offer letter will be generated immediately with your name and with a bank account. When you now make payment, the moment you make payment on that bank account, this plot will be automatically reserved for you and emails will be sent to you. The payment notification, everything, invoice will be sent to your email instantly, and that plot becomes your own. So if you also make a down payment, the same thing, it's going to be reserved for you, and emails regarding your payment will also be sent to you. And that bank account, if you paid installment, that first bank account that is generated for you becomes the bank account you need to be paying the money to. And the moment you are paying money into it, the system is also updating it for you. And again, the moment you pass this stage, the system automatically also creates an account for you. So you can always log into that account to always check your payments, information, maybe when next you're supposed to make payment. Although, yes, an email will be sending to you automatically, but you can log in, looking at your, if you have paid outright, you can log in to see where your plot is in real time. And in 7 days, we send your documentations to you wherever you are. And we will prepare what we are calling the physical land allocation ceremony. So we are going to do the physical land allocation ceremony. So every land purchase here is going to have, we're going to give out free t-shirts and free shopping vouchers based on project. Abuja is 100,000 naira, depending on the size of the plot. Lagos is also 100,000 naira voucher. Then Ibadan and Port Harcourt is 50,000 naira each. So any land you purchase, you are going to get a 50,000 naira free voucher or 100,000 naira free shopping voucher. Then with a t-shirt that is going to be written side map. That t-shirt, we are going to wear it on the day of our allocation ceremony, because we are going to be inviting a lot of PR companies, Arise News channels, and the rest to come and cover it and see that we now start having what we are calling women estates in Nigeria. Estates or locations where only women now own land. It's going to be covered. It's going to be awesome and a very nice experience for all of us. Okay, so I've said something about this. So thank you so much for your time. And I understand that this takes a lot of time, but I'm excited that you guys stayed to the end. If you have any question, please shoot. Let's answer your question.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, Engineer Nandi, good evening.
Good evening.
I do appreciate your lecture. It's very exhaustive, it's very encouraging, and I must say I'm very, very grateful, knowing that at a time like this, people are considering letting women have legal rights over land, at least officially. Yes. Okay. I've listened to you all this while, and I'm glad. But I hope that this women buying land should be replicated in other states like Enugu, Anambra, Abia, Imo, not just Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt.
Yes,
Hello.
we are working on that. This is more like we are starting. Okay, so well, I don't want to do it like only for the big cities. I want to be able to empower women. You understand? Not just the big cities. I'm willing to enter Benue State, willing to enter Kaduna, Kano. You understand? Willing to enter Ebony State and the rest. It's not just what we want to do for a township and all that, but it's something that we want to enter into the corners of Nigeria and empower all the women around those locations.
Okay.
Just a
That's one.
starting point to grow, and our goal is to see that before this year comes, we can be able to empower over 3,000 women.
Okay, that's a lovely one. There's this my paper on appraising the place of women and using the Sendai framework to see how we can capture women in so many things concerning land title recognition and the rest. So I want to suggest that there's something that we are missing in the gap concerning women. Because for us to buy land, it means that we are women who work. Now, I would prefer that we take this, will I call it a crusade to the rural women, so that if we can, we empower them to be able to learn to rent land for agriculture. Yes, these women, because of land fragmentation in the rural areas, probably your family or your husband's family, they have just half a plot. You know how they fragment land? We are 3 families owning 1 plot of land, so we share it into 3. So they can't even, that's half or 1/3 of a plot cannot even sustain them.
Okay, I get that part, and it makes a whole lot of sense, which means we that also work
by communities that have land in common can now agree to rent. These women will not buy. They will rent maybe 5 plots, 3 plots, as much as you can farm, for probably either annually or biannually, depending on the kind of crop they want to farm on, so that we can also empower these women who don't have the money, they don't do white collar job, but they have the strength to farm. They will be able to access this probably average or large parcel of land. They can farm with their children and be able to get something for them to feed on and for them to trade for money. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. I think that makes a whole lot of sense too. We can also look at it because people can also invest in those kind of lands. You understand why their money is why they own the land. They can also earn maybe small revenue from that land, from the farming that was also done in that land. I think it's something that we can also look at. The year is just starting. There are a lot of things we can do together. Okay. Any question? Any other question?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for this training today. I must say, I was able to understand a lot of things about land ownership. But there's a question I want to ask regarding Lagos, because I can see that Lagos, you only have 55 plots in Lagos. And I know that a lot of women want to be a part of this. So what about those who maybe during the process of choosing and reserving your land and they were not able to get and the 55 plot is exhausted. Are you going to have phase 2 or probably phase 3 for Lagos? Thank you.
Yes, we will, because that is why we just start this small, you understand, so that we can now see the length that we can go. Like I said initially, my goal is to see that we empower 3,000 women this year. So, and we are just starting. So I believe that anyone who wasn't able to get in this stage can get in the second stage. You understand? So we are just started and we are not going to stop anytime soon. So we will keep doing this because there are a lot of women to be empowered in Nigeria. So we're just starting and we have not even scratched the surface at all. Any other question? Okay, someone sent a message on the message. Yeah, the Lagos is on Epe. So let me go back so that you can see my screen. So Lagos is Epe. Iketu Epe, more like that is on the road leading to from Epe to Ikorodu. So it's already fenced estates and it's very close to Ogun State and also very close to outside the Lagos. So these are some of the activities. And of course, we know Lagos Epe has already finished in terms of land allocations and everything. So a lot of things are also happening there. So it's a good place for anyone to open. Okay, can we go for site inspection before seeing? Yes, we have already. Okay, we're going to reshare the scheduled dates for group site inspection. We wanted to do it as group so that it will be easier. Rose is going to share. We're going to share a form right now instead of using. We have been using pool, but it's not effective because as people are coming in, they might not be able to see that pool anymore. So we're going to use a Google form so that people who are interested in any of these locations for the inspection can actually write their name and their phone number so that we can contact them. We want to be able to know whether we're going to use a coastal bus or we're going to use a small bus. So the number of people that indicated interest determines how we are going to convert people to that location. But site inspection will start on 15th, like Port Harcourt is 15th of, Port Harcourt is 15th of February. Abuja is 14th of February. Lagos is 22nd of February. I'm still getting information for Ibadan, but it's also going to be within this time also. Any other question? Okay, thank you so much for everyone that. Okay.
I sent a question on the box. I sent a question on the chat.
Yeah, I replied to you. I said, yes, you can resell, you understand? And you can buy more than one plot. Then I saw another question. Okay, someone is suggesting. I saw another question. Someone is suggesting for if they cannot afford 4 million. Yes, so we are going to keep expanding, you understand? We're going to keep expanding. That's my promise. I'm very out for this. We'll keep expanding and get cheaper areas also. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I really am honored to have you guys, and I appreciate your time. So this video, we're going to also push this video to we're going to put it on YouTube and then share on that group so that people can also go and watch it, because it's going to be a very large file that might not be able to enter inside WhatsApp. So we're going to upload it on YouTube and allow people to now click and go and watch it on YouTube. Thank you and have a lovely evening.
Thank you, engineer. We're grateful. Good.
Thank you very much. We're waiting for worry.
Yes, definitely. That will be.